love came in and thawed my heart. After a winter so cold, it left me frozen inside. You sang a song that unraveled me. The melody was enough to rewrite my story. There's no place I would rather be than in the light of your sun. It changes everything. There's no face I would rather see. You pull me out from the dust and you redefine me. Your love came in and thawed my heart. After a winter so cold, it left me frozen inside. You sang a song that unraveled me. The melody was enough to rewrite my story. There's no place I would rather be than in the light of your sun. It changes everything. There's no face I would rather see. You pull me out from the dust and you redefine me.
Hello everyone, how are you doing tonight? So today we have a little interesting setup here in the LRS Premade. We have our very own caster, Mr. Sheep, Awesome Sheep 888. He's looking here to take home a victory up against the Exodus clan with his team, the Sheep Herd. So it's looking very, very interesting. I've seen quite a few of these players play over the past couple days, and so far everyone is doing very, very well. But we'll see what happens today. What do you think, Karthik?
Yeah, it's looking to be a great clash. I've played with a bunch of these players already, and excited to see what they can do because I know they're all very good. We'll see
Exactly.
what's end up happening as we get right into the draft.
So we are getting ready to go into draft, so we'll see what is going to happen for us today. So everything is normal. There's not a single substitute to be seen today. Everyone is healthy and looking to play some League of Legends.
Yes, sir. Um, yeah, we'll see what comes up being with the first bands. There's a bunch of OP picks going out. We'll see if they're going to be targeted or if they want to go for more for some comfort bands. Uh,
We'll see what
yeah.
is picked up today. But a lot of things have happened over the past couple patches, and the patch just went live on Wednesday. So all these new changes that did come through on Tuesday are now live right now. So we'll see how this affects some of the picks coming forward today. They are starting off with an Anivia ban, a very stable pick in the mid lane.
Oh, actually going to be changed
Oh,
up to the
the
Vayne.
Vayne.
That
Ooh.
has to be a comfort ban, or maybe the Sheepher's cooking up a comp which Vayne might counter. We'll see what ends up going through. Vayne is a pretty top tier ADC, but not anything OP that needs to be banned out in my opinion. So we'll see.
She is definitely a strong AD carry, but not the best. She does have some niches though where she can outperform every other AD carry in the game, so that might be what the Sheep Herd is looking to draft with that ban.
Right, yeah. And we'll see if any support or jungle bans coming through. I feel like it looks like they aren't able to ban, but they do want to ban MF. So that's going to be a second ADC ban coming through. If they're really looking to shrink the ADC pool, this is going to open up some things like Kaisa, Jin, and maybe even something like Jinx or Caitlyn coming across.
So we are going to have to restart this lane, but other than that, I think the ban's. Oh, wait, it does come through.
There we go. Okay.
There is that
A
MF.
bit of a delay. Yep. We'll see if it's gonna the pool will be squeezed even further. This does kind of push them towards getting the first pick on blue side to be going towards ADC. The second ban does come to become the Pantheon though.
So Pantheon has been played a couple times in the jungle even after his nerfs, so he is still really strong there, but he also provides a lot of pressure up in that top lane and is a great counter pick for a lot of the melee mid laners like the Yasuo, like the Yone, like the Zed. He's just very strong into a lot of those 80 mid laners that people can pick up, and is also generally strong into almost every bruiser.
Right, just a really big flex coming across. And they're hovering the Kaisa here. We're gonna see if, and that's another ADC ban here.
That
So
is
really trying to
3
shrink
already.
the pool of Awesome Sheep over here. But I do know that Awesome Sheep does play the Jin, so we'll see if that's gonna be the third ban that comes across too.
I would expect either a Jin or a Senna ban here. He is
Third
very,
ban
very strong on
Hecarim.
both. But the Hecarim
Yeah,
ban is
that's
solid.
top tier jungle. Getting out of the way there, it's gonna open up path to something like Udyr's Karner. Those are the other top tiers left up. I expect them to go with the Jin ban here if they're trying to just focus down one player, which is a pretty effective strategy if you think that person doesn't have a champion.
Definitely.
So
But
yeah,
yeah, we'll see what comes through in ban number 3. But I guess they're just hard targeting Mr. Sheep here down in that bot lane. But I definitely would not let Annie get through here, but they are just going to ban the Aatrox away from trash plays up in the top side.
yeah, I think that's another comfort pick being taken away. First pick Seraphine, I love to see it. Seraphine is just, even though she got nerfed, she's still so strong in this meta. So really good to see that taken up first. And we'll probably see Exodus reply with an ADC and support pick, or maybe even the jungle. There's some really top tier junglers like Udyr, Skarner, still left up. So I want to see one of
Definitely.
those being picked up. Both of them are really good into the Seraphine at just locking her down.
We shall see what does come through here. They are probably going to look to take away either an AD carry or a jungler here. I think both would be a great pickup here. Just trying to limit that pool away from Sheep, maybe take away the Senna or take away the Jin.
Yeah. Looking across just with the support pairing too. Oh, we see Brand coming
Brand
across.
coming through.
that should be a flex between mid and support. I personally like the Seraphine into it. I think you can definitely stay out of that range. And it really opens up ADC picks like Caitlyn or the Jhin again to be really threatening bot lane pairing where they can just outzone the brand if he does end up going to the support role.
Overall, just a very high damage support is very, very strong in lane, but very susceptible, like you said. But I do think an answer to that champion that is very strong right now, that hasn't been played very much, is the Lux. Is able to output some damage, but can also flex into that supportive role with the shields and damage. But the Olaf pick is coming through, so that is something that can definitely get onto that Seraphine very, very easily.
Yeah, I love Olaf into Seraphine, just run through her entire CC and just destroy her. She is very squishy. So good jungle pick coming across. We'll see what the Shepherd reply with. I want to see them taking their jungle pick as well as their ADC coming through. There's some really good ADC pairings that you can do here. Let's see which one Sheep does end up going for.
We shall see what does happen, but they definitely do need to pick up an ADC in this pickup phase because they already have limited it by taking away 3. So it is going to be the Jarvan for Mr. Sircave in the jungle, and judging by profile picture,
Jarvan's really good. Jarvan, I kind of do like it into the Olaf. You have some early damage, which does let you do actually better than you might think. And you can actually lock down that Olaf because he may be CC immune, but he can't run through walls.
Exactly.
So in team fights, that will help them a lot. Same thing with Brand. So if the Jarvan is well executed, I think it'll be a really powerful force coming in here.
Is very, very strong, and is just able to mitigate a lot of what the Shepherd wants to do. And with that Jinx pickup, that is just another target for Olaf to run at. But
okay, Jinx is decent. I think she can keep her range away from the Brand. Her E doesn't help too much against the Olaf, but if she can get a kill, the Get Excited would help her kite away with all the movement speed she gets. And although some people think she might be short range, she definitely can keep her range very well with her W, her ult, and all her rocket spam, which allows her to play on the edge of the team fight just like Seraphine, while Jarvan can act as a beefy frontline for them.
It does give her a lot of that peel, but they're picking a very, very strong early game bot lane here with that Brand Ezreal. They output just so much damage, and with the new Essence Reaver Duskblade build, Ezreal is just able to do so much damage in such a short window of time.
Yeah, the Ezreal, we haven't seen it much. We'll see if he does end up going for the Duskblade build that we've been seeing come out a lot in the past patch. I personally do like the Jinx Seraphine lane. I think that they can heal up whatever damage is thrown at them. Oh, we also see the Annie ban coming here. That's going straight to Benji. Just this Tuesday, he did play the Annie and he popped off on it, just carried the game really hard. We'll see if they end up banning the Victor too. Those are his 2 main comfort picks. And we'll see what the Shepherd want to reply with on the other end as well.
I do think there are a couple of picks they can shoot for, maybe take away some of those mid lane or top laners. They already have gotten rid of that Annie, but it is going to be the Victor looking to be taken away from the Exodus clan, and it is going to be them locking in that man Shepherd taking away the Victor.
Yeah, Exodus does have the first pick after the banning phase, so they are going to be able to get the Victor first, no matter how bad Benji wants it. We'll see what other bans start coming across here. I'd like to see some more things that can kind of keep their range and just play outside the range of like Olaf and Brand and make it harder for them to like get onto them and help Jarvan be kind of like acting as like the distance between their assassination attempts and the backline of the Sheep.
Definitely.
Yeah, and Syndra is exactly like one of those champions that I would say. Olaf is actually pretty decent into it, but it is a comfort pick of Benji, so it is good to see that gone. We'll see if it's another mid ban they'll come across here. I do think that would be something that they can go for.
It should be another big ban coming through. They do want to get rid of Southern Warriors champion pool. I do think that is probably the ideal pick, but it is going to be that set looking to be banned away. It's both very good in the top lane as well as a decent pick up in that mid lane. It's just very tanky and a champion that is able to force really, really hard with his movement speed, with his E, and with that showstopper.
Right, that would be the first, or I guess the second top lane ban that's come across. Aatrox and Set taken off the board, but still a lot of power picks like Camille and Gnar left up, so we'll see if either of those will be grabbed up here.
Those picks still available, and all of them are very, very strong. And it is going to be that Malphite.
Yeah, Malphite just a pretty good blind pick, honestly. If you think Trash Blaze is gonna pick a carry top laner, Malphite is a really effective way of just shutting them down and not letting them do anything in lane.
But one thing to note is the Mordekaiser is still open. And I think that is what
Right.
they're going to pick up. That is one of
That
the
is
hardest
the logical
Malphite
answer.
counters.
Right, it should be really good for the Mordekaiser in lane, and also should help out a lot in these team fights zoning. Mordekaiser should do a lot of damage to people on the Exodus clan.
And that's what you want to see out of that Mordekaiser. Just want him to be a presence, just making sure that Malphite is not able to do his job. And it also does help in those jungle fights, especially allowing them to... But the problem is, they picked it into an Olaf. And Olaf is able to negate a lot of that pressure that a Mordekaiser provides in those crucial smite fights.
Yeah, and the mid lane pick, being Anivia coming out here, I really like the pick. If the brand is ending up going mid, which I honestly doubt it, but could be a possibility, you have a lot of range advantage, and you can again have another wall on top of the Jarvan wall to get the Olaf away from you. And if Jarvan does land a nutty ulti, you can put your ult down inside Jarvan ult and kind of have like an oven just roasting everyone.
Exactly. There's just so much damage coming out. A lot of DOT, a lot of AoE coming out of everyone in the Sheep Herd. They have a lot of DPS coming from the Jinx and the Anivia.
Yeah, and I love the Orianna answer here. You want to see some sick Malphite ults coming across with the Orianna ball on top, and an Ezreal follow-up and Brand follow-up. That is a really good wombo that they have here.
Both teams have very, very solid identities here. And overall, just well drafted for both teams. I don't see a single pick that doesn't really fit into the identity that they've drafted for themselves.
Yeah, I really do like both drafts here. I think it does going to be end up going across to the execution of this. We'll be heading right into draft here, into champion select as they pick their characters.
We'll see where each is going to go, but I do suspect that most of this is just going to be standard lanes. Going to be that Mordekaiser in the top, the Anivia in the mid lane. But we'll see if anything spicy comes through, but most likely I do think it is just going to be standard where everyone does go.
Right, yeah. And both teams do have a really good identity. If you look at Shepherd, they have a solid backline with Jinx and Anivia and Seraphine that has a lot of movement speed, has a lot of zoning to keep the enemy teams engaged away from them. And Mordekaiser and Jarvan will act towards bringing that space and giving some CC for them to play with. And on the other hand, you have a lot of all-in with Malphite, Olaf, assisted with long-range stuff from Orianna and Ezreal with their ultis to act as a wombo combo to get in on the enemy team. So it's going to come down to the execution. I want to see Shepherd trying to stay split and not giving them the multi-man ultis to play with, because it's going to be up to if they can land those in order to see if the Exodus clan can come out with an advantage team fight. Because if those abilities miss, then they can be kited to oblivion by the Shepherd team.
Exactly. They do have a very kite-oriented team here. They like to disengage, they like to play it front to back, but Exodus doesn't have the same idea. They want to go forward, they want to push in and deal a lot of damage from both far away and right up in your face.
Right, yeah. And another thing we can kind of look at is the lane matchup. Starting off with the top lane, that's where we see like the biggest contrast. Mordekaiser is a really good pick into the Malphite. And that's kind of what you see coming from if you give your top a counter pick. They could have gotten the Orianna in the 4th pick, but they decided to save it for the last. And Malphite just got hard countered. It's going to be a very easy lane for Mordekaiser, regardless of the skill of the players. But we'll see if Malphite can hang on in there and provide some key ultis in the team fights.
It is going to be on that Malphite to provide a lot of that engage for the Exodus clan. Yes, the Olaf has a go button with his ultimate, but you do not want to be doing that all the time. You want to rely on your Malphite being there for those team fights, and having a Mordekaiser stopping the TPs, and stopping Malphite from just being there in general is going to be very, very difficult for Exodus clan to play through. But one thing to note, it is the Olaf, so no smite fight. It's a very free 50-50 because you have an Olaf, even with the Mordekaiser on the enemy team.
Right, yeah. Speaking of the Olaf, it is an okay pick. I would have liked to see something with a bit more engaged potential to follow up with the Malphite. It's not an ideal pick, but it is something that has an insanely fast clear, can outpace the enemy jungler really well. And if Jarvan can't find those really good ganks on people like the bot lane or the Orianna or the Malphite, then he's going to fall behind in the game really easily.
One thing to note is the mid lane and the support of the Exos clan are very, very easy to get onto, but the same thing could be said for the Shepherd too. Both those bot laners or both those like supportive champions like that Seraphine and Brand are very easy to jump on here. They can be
there's
easily
not much
one-shot.
to cancel for the cancel the Jarvan combo, and you can't really cancel anything for Olaf when he has his ult up. So yeah, it does come down to who can keep their spacing better. Looking at the bot lane matchup too, I think Jinx Seraphine compared to Ezreal Brand, they do have a bit of a range advantage, and I think they should be able to just get shoved and be able to poke better, as long as they make sure to keep like the max range between them, because they do have a bit of a range advantage when it pushes the Brand. The Brand does a lot of damage though, so if they step up too far, then they can definitely be hard punished.
It's gonna be spacing, and there is a lot of spacing that everyone on the Shepherd has to worry about. If they get too close to that Malphite, if they don't respect the ultimates from the Olaf, it's going to be very, very difficult for the Shepherd to play through. They need to respect a lot of the champions here. Like, an Olaf can engage with that Orianna ball on him, and there's a lot of damages coming out from almost every champion.
Yeah, and speaking of spacing, that's going to be the name of the game in the mid lane too. Orianna ball, Anivia ultis, just going to be the spacing game. But I do want to give the edge to Anivia, because once Anivia does get her level 6, it's really hard to match her wave clear. She can just shove waves instantly and try and look to roam with the Jarvan ganking ability. So I do want to see Shepherd trying to look for those in the mid game, because as you said, there are a bunch of immobile champions that they can look to get on and get some free kills, and that is going to be the key for Jarvan to try and ask the mid laner to roam, try and look for those plays, or else he'll just fall behind to the Olaf.
Definitely. Yes, the Jarvan does scale better, in my opinion, but it is going to be the pace of the game that dictates if this Jarvan is allowed to scale. So Jarvan is going to have to look for those advantages down in that bot lane, try and grab those kills early onto that Brand, shut him down before he's able to output that damage. Because we've seen Brands take over games in solo queue, we'll see if Honey Badger is able to pull it off here.
Right, yeah, and as it does go into the late game, I still would give the edge to the Shepherd, because their comp really does fit really well together. You have Jinx and Seraphine and Anivia, solid backline for teamfight with good lockdown from the Jarvan and even the Mordekaiser with his AoE. But there's a few characters who I would have wanted to see someone better than an Ezreal, because he kind of just wants to poke and play spacing, while Olaf and Malphite want to really go in. And Orianna and Brand are a bit balanced. They can help out, because but their primary job isn't to go all in. If there was something like an engage support, something like an Alistar, that could have helped out, or a more aggressive damage ADC, that would have been better. Maybe something like Jhin to like follow up from further range. But it looks like they have chosen with the Ezreal, might be a comfort pick that he's really good with. But yeah, it is a bit out of place with the comp, but we'll see how well they execute it in the game.
And like you said, it's execution. It's on both of the carries for each team to play very, very well. The jobs of the top laners are very simple. The jobs of the junglers are very simple. It's on these mid laners and 80 carries to make things work. But we are going to go for a quick break while the game does load up. We do have predictions open in case you guys do want to use your tokens. It is token night, so we'll see how things go. Hopefully everyone gets their winnings, but we'll be back in just a little bit. Take care, everyone. You don't want to miss game number 1.
I saw you smile from across the bar. Yeah, she was pretty and so close but so far. She flipped her hair and I thought this can't be true. How does a man like me get someone like you? And then she looked at me and I was confused. Everyone here can't be the one that she'll choose. And I looked back and saw the spark in her eyes. This can't be real, my head's telling me lies. The night is young and I think this could go far. The sky is dark, but you're my shooting star. Could see
A
your
pause as
face
soon as the
reflected
game does start. Well, other than that, things are looking pretty good. Play is going to resume right away. But this is game number 1 here. Sheepherd taking on the Exodus clan. We'll see who comes out on top. This is a battle for about the 3rd or 4th place right now. So we'll see which team comes home with the victory. But right now, the Sheepherd are sitting just a little bit ahead in the standings. They are 3 and 4, whereas the Exodus clan is 2 and 5. We'll see if they are able to take a victory and tie up the standings.
Yeah, and some pretty interesting rune choices coming across all around the board here. You see Jarvan taking the PTA. He might be looking for some lethality or Prowler Scrub builds. You see Seraphine with the Electrocute instead of something like Comet or Guardian. Maybe they're going to try and look for some all-ins with that. And on the other side, you see Orianna with the Electrocute too, wanting to try and get a lane gap going against Benji here with the early damage.
We do know that the Orianna and Anivia both scale very well. We're just going to have to see which laner is able to take this early game going forward.
Yeah, and Malphite also trying to take the grasp. That should give the edge against the Mordekaiser too, as you had said. It's going to be hard for Malphite to walk up in auto with all the damage that's going to come in return from the Mordekaiser. Something like the Comet would have helped him get some better trades from further away.
Definitely. So the theory behind taking Comet into matchups you feel like you are going to lose is it allows you to get some setup for your jungler, get some early poke down, so that way the Mordekaiser is not allowed to get away with those free trades, and he will be taken down as the game progresses, especially during that mid-game.
Right. Yep, and we're going to see some standard leashes coming from both the bot lanes. You can actually see that Jarvan has spotted the ward that's been placed. He's taken Red Trinket, which is a proactive move, and he's killed the Vision, so it'll be hard to track him. But another ward's actually on his blue, so really good vision coming across from the Exodus clan, and it's going to help them always track wherever the Jarvan's going to be.
We do see some proactive trading coming up from the top laners, and Mordekaiser is going to come out on top of that trade because he does have the Doran's shield. We do see the corruption potion coming out from the Malphite, but the fact that he doesn't have Comet, doesn't have Scorch, is going to mean that Q-Poke is not going to do nearly as much damage, but a big trade coming in from the mid lane. Benji doing a lot of work.
And Olaf is looking to full clear as usual, but Jarvan, who is known to do level 3 ganks or level 2 ganks, by either doing buff Gromp or just going straight after one buff, is looking to do a semi-full clear with the 5 camps instead, and he's going to be spotted. So you'll see that Anivia kind of has the pressure coming across. Mordekaiser would also have the pressure coming across. That should allow Jarvan to have the edge on the first scuttle. We'll see if there's going to be any scuffles coming across for the fight for that.
We do see that ward expire, so they aren't going to see where this Jarvan is going to start pathing. He is looking maybe towards that mid lane, but a lot of damage going down onto the Ezreal.
Yeah, good poke coming across from the Seraphine. Like I talked about, that range advantage will be hard for Brand to kind of compete with the other 3 people.
Oh, forcing the flash out of Southern Warrior already. Great gank from Sir Cave. But the Mordekaiser is already there on that scuttle, making sure that his jungler is able to claim that one up.
Yeah, very well done by the Sheepherd. They secure the scuttle and get the early flash on the Orianna. She doesn't have any mana either, and you can see Jarvan is lurking nearby to see if he can do a return gank.
And some great damage going on here in both the bot lane and the mid lane. Southern Warrior is looking like he is going to fall, and it is going to be given over to Benji. Beautiful auto coming through, and Bubblegum is taken very, very low, but the skill shot is going to miss from Honey Badger, so no confirmed kill, but a lot of damage onto Sheep already too. Great work.
Yeah, great play by the Jarvan, being very proactive in the mid lane with the repeat gank, and this allows him to double scuttle the Olaf too. Olaf is, however, proactive as well.
Here comes
Jarvan actually left to gank here.
Is
Good
going
stun
to
by
get
Brand.
stunned. So well played from the Brand, stopping his 80 carry from getting one shot. But the Mordekaiser looking for a nice trade up in the top lane. He is fighting in a gigantic wave though, so he is going to take the worst end of that one.
Yeah, but he's Mordekaiser, he's got the shield, not going to bother him much.
Got the shield, got the
You do see
heal.
Olaf, however, going into the top jungle with the Jarvan. He's stolen the Gromp already. We'll see if he ends up going for Wolves.
So the
Don't think
Mordekaiser
so.
should know that that the Jarvan, or not the Jarvan, that the Olaf is there. His ward was spotted out by that Scryer's Bloom, but the Malphite just going to get pulled once again, but the cannon is going to be given in exchange for that pull.
Yeah, he is remaining very healthy, but his mana is in a pretty dire situation. So he's looking to crash that wave and get it back off soon.
And that is the reason why you do take that blue tree, the comet. It allows you to itemize into both mana flow band as well as the biscuits. So you're just able to get a whole lot more mana. But Trash plays once again pulling that Malphite in, and he's taking a bad end of the trade, and the wave is not even going to crash.
Yeah, and bot lane also Surfing getting those electrocute procs that she was able to get with the double wave and auto attack. You can see how much poke is coming out from Jinx and Seraphine here. That range advantage, it's ending up with 41 to 24 so far. Ezreal will pick up this wave, but he's still going to be behind in CS. And yeah, we got a bit of bot gap going across right now from the draft.
The Sheepherd are playing very, very well. The Seraphine making the most use out of her summoner, or not her summoner, out of her rune choice. That electrocute doing some work. It's already done a little bit of damage, so it's playing very, very well.
Right.
Overall,
yeah.
I think everyone is playing well, but once again, Southern Warrior getting tagged up by the stun from the Anivia.
Yeah, you see Bran going across with some vision. I always like to see that from the support. If you do have a timing where ADC's just shoving the wave in, you can go across, look for some vision, so they'll know if Jarvan tries to cheese the dragon in the next few minutes.
So the Jarvan is behind one camp, but we do see Olaf itemizing towards what looks to be a Balmy Cinder item, either the Chem Tank or the Iceborne or Frostfire Fist, one of those two. But Olaf is ganking that Anivia, but he is going to take a lot of damage in return for that one, and nothing blown from Benji.
Yeah, it's interesting that Olaf is looking for a tank item here instead of something like Gore Drinker or the Stride Breaker. That's what I always like to go on Olaf, but it might be that they just want a bit more frontline for the Orianna, Ezreal, and the Bran. So yeah, taking one for the team. Going to be the front line instead of the engage. But honestly, I feel like the Gore Drinker, Stride Breaker could help a lot with their engage. So we'll see how this item choice will end up mattering as the game goes on.
And speaking of the Stride Breaker, those changes did come through yesterday. So it is going to have that little bit extra range on the dash itself, 300 units from 200. And it does a little bit less damage and has a little bit less of a slow. But I think that would be a very, very good item on Olaf, but unfortunately we are not going to see it.
Yeah, it is going to be surprisingly good, helping Olaf stick on you. The blue side like to get some vision across the Dragon Pit. They're going to spout out the wards, so know that it's not going to be able to easily be taken here, and they're just going to back off.
59 CS already in the back pocket of that Jinx. She is playing very, very well. And just under a 10 CS lead at the moment, but the Shockwave is going to come through, but a TP following through from the Mordekaiser might spell the doom of someone. Unstoppable coming through from the Olaf, but Southern Warrior is going to get stuck. He's going to get bonked down in the Death Realm, and that is going to be kill number 2 for the Sheepherd.
Yeah, great counter engage coming across from the Sheepherd. This should mean that they get the dragon with Olaf having to flash away and the mid lane dying with no TP. Bot also has the pressure, so it should just be a free drag. I do want to see Olaf trying to go into the Sheepherd's top jungle because he knows that Jarvan has to be bot side right now, but it looks like he'll just be taking his red for now. We'll see if he wants to trade the Herald and cut the
Red net is very, very low, but no ultimate for the Brand. Flash away from the Seraphine, and that first kill is going to be claimed up by Sheep, but the support is going to fall on both sides, but Sheep is going to be able to try and take this one from Bubblegum. He is very, very low, and he is going to use that with that excitedness, being able to take home another kill. Double kill for Sheep.
Yeah, the Jinx passive means that Ezreal standing no chance in that later 1v1. So Jinx coming across with the 2 kills here. She is a very snowball ADC, so we'll see what she picks up after she pushes this wave.
I personally would go with the Gale Force this game. There's just, even though the Kraken Slayer has a much higher damage output, there is just so much you have to worry about if you're playing that Jinx, that immobile AD carry.
Yeah, I completely agree. They have so much damage in their squad already that Jinx doesn't have to be greedy for the damage. Gale Force will help her dodge Ezreal skill shots, Brand skill shots, Orianna skill shots, even the Olaf axes. And if it is a max range, it can help against a Malphite ulti as well.
Exactly.
So really good pickup. I hope she does end up going towards it.
Well, see here, she is very, very close to it. If she does grab that 600 gold, she will have enough for it. But another trade coming in the top lane, and Trash Play is doing so much damage to Zalcon. And Conqueror is already taking so much damage, the isolated Q is going to mean that Zalcon is going to be forced to back away.
Yeah, and something to point out, Mordekaiser ulted in the mid lane. There was no reason for him to, as Orianna was stuck in the Jarvan ultimate already. And if he did have the ult here, that would mean a kill on the Malphite. But it looks like the Malphite does end up getting away here. Doesn't even have to pull his flash.
Or his ultimate too. So no cooldowns blown, but it is a lot of damage and it is a forced reset as the wave might crash under his tower.
Yep, and during that time, Olaf does pick off the Rift Herald. We'll see where he wants to use that. I do want to see it trying to be used mid or bot, try and get your carries some more gold in their pockets. So we'll see what he does with it in the coming minutes.
That is looking to be the play here. They are both very behind if you look at the carries from the Exodus clan. 1 kill and an assist over to that Anivia. And just a little bit of CS lead, but in that bot lane, it is just a kingdom down there with over a 20 CS lead and a kill lead as well.
Yeah, and the Sheeper are trying to freeze the wave here. Good look from the Anivia.
Southern Warrior.
Electrocute.
Southern Warrior is just constantly out of mana here. He's not managing it very, very well. And he's just taking the worst into these trades because of it.
Yeah, Anivia also has the tier, and Orianna has to try and match that insane Anivia wave clear, and she is doing it, but at the cost of her mana, like you said.
Top lane,
And
here comes a
here's
Death
an
Realm,
all-in
and Zalcon once again might be caught in a bad spot. Is going to dodge that isolated Q, but I think he's dead either way here. It's going to flash, but flash forward from the Mordekaiser is going to mean he's going to take that one, and he also burns the Unstoppable Force, and is still not able to get away.
Yeah, and Mordekaiser flashes back and gets the kill. And
Oh,
the
here
flash
comes the
auto
Encore is going to
and-
land onto Honey Badger, and he's just going to get one shot by the Seraphine on her own, but here comes Glue Eater down in the bot side. The Ragnarok is popped, and the Ezreal is going to be able to take down the Jinx, and Red Net is stuck in a bad spot, stuck between a wall and an Olaf, and the Olaf is going to take kill number 2.
Yeah, a great engage by Seraphine, but an even greater counter gank by the Olaf, understanding that the fight's going on and being able to help Ezreal pick up the kills and get him back into this game, honestly, because it was looking really bad for him.
It was looking kind of rough. But in the top lane, that Mordekaiser has gotten 2 plates, but here comes a Rift Herald. But no Ragnarok means this Jarvan could look for something. Could look to maybe clear the wave. He is going to look onto the Olaf here. He does have the Cataclysm. He's going to pop it onto 2, and here comes Benji, able to take 1 down. The Olaf is going to fall, and the Jarvan is still, or the Ezreal is still alive, and the Brand is nearly there. And they're probably just going to have to back off. The Director Cam is taking me to the top lane, and there is a big fight happening here. Zalcon once again zoned from his tower, but here comes Southern Warrior. Shockwave is going to land and claim that one. Nice shutdown over for Mr. Southern Warrior, the Orianna.
Yeah, good roams coming across top and bot from both mid laners, trying to help out. Oh, Anivia going to be poked down quite a bit here.
Brand
Looks like she
damage.
will be okay, though. Yeah.
So-
And yeah, good thing by the Jarvan that I saw too, he didn't use his combo instantly. He waited for the Anivia to come and then ulted, which forced the E from Ezreal and got the kill on the Olaf as well. So really just going blow for blow. Both teams playing very well.
So we do see first item completions coming in here. The Essence Reaver for that Ezreal. That is what we expected to see now. It is a very, very strong item. Kraken Slayer for the Jinx. Rift Maker for the Mordekaiser. But again, I would suggest the I would have suggested the Gale Force, but we'll see if Sheep is able to remember that he has to play very, very safe come these later stages of the game. But Orianna has no flash, and I think she blew it by accident.
Oh, yeah, she might have.
I think she fat-fingered it.
Also, do you know what that giant spell on Seraphine is for?
I think she is building towards that, the Rylai's Crystal Scepter. So the way that interaction works between her E, so if the target is slowed and your E lands, it will root them. So Rylai's slow will apply before your E will apply. So that means the root will come through instantly.
Yeah,
But
that's a good interaction there. TP
there's
coming
gonna
on
be
down.
TP.
They're gonna look for the dragon here. Not sure what the Exodus gang can do about it at this point.
But it is going to be a guaranteed dragon here. Dragon number 2 for the Sheepherd, and it is going to be a nice Infernal Soul. Malphite taking the consolation prize of some plates down up in the top lane.
Yeah, looks like Mort isn't choosing to TP back. He's okay with giving a few minions. He has a good healthy lead already. Just wants to get his item back.
Oh.
He has the Rift Maker now.
He is going to burn the TP.
Yeah, I think he just wanted to back before and get his mythic item. And now that he has a Rift Maker, Malphite's sitting on a Balmy Cinder and
Ember.
a few little pieces of clothing there. Not going to be able to do much against that.
I don't think that skirt's going to mean very much into that Mordekaiser, I'm going to be honest. But we do see the Chem Tank coming through for the Olaf, so he is going to go running at the speed of light towards that Jinx, towards that Anivia. So he is looking for that harder engage and a little bit more tank stats. We'll see what he does go second, but I would expect either Deadman's Plate or a Sterak's Gauge here.
Yeah, it's good to see that he knows there's a lot of distance to cover, and the chem tank's gonna help him do that by able to, because he took the flash instead of the ghost. He's gonna have the speed to be able to stay on the Jinx, make her slow from the chem tank counter pick, and just be able to deal the damage by staying on top of her. Let's just hope that he will still have the survivability and damage output to be able to kill that already fed backline though.
The backline is very, very fed, and Trash plays landing these beautiful, beautiful pulls. That Death's Grasp meaning a lot. Ooh, the Brand is
Good
rooted up here,
surf
taking
on
so
Brand.
much damage. Half his HP.
Yeah, they're really getting value out of the electrocute, so
And
good work
E,
by
burn
Red
from
Dead.
the Ezreal. They have to look for something here for a little bit, but Bubble Gun forced to burn some cooldowns. Just for no reason though. The Chompers weren't even placed down.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh no,
Another
Bubble
good
Gun got
combo.
rooted up here. They're just gonna E away once again. It is already back off cooldown. That is the power of the Essence for Lucidity boots. Cooldowns are very, very low.
Yeah, the Exodus bot lane is trying to look for something here though with the Olaf coming in. Not sure if they spotted
He
him.
is
I
gonna
feel
be
like
spotted by
they
the
do.
cannon. I think he should be. But Honey Badger doing so much damage. And it's gonna be taken down though. And here comes Olaf under the tower. Might be able to take Sheep down, but Bubble Gun is taking so much damage. And he is trying to walk up here, but another trade happening in the mid lane. Southern Warrior taking him to just over 10% HP, but the flash forward from Benji is going to claim that one. And Bubble Gun might look to force here because he sees the jungler leaving. We'll see if something does happen here, but it is a 1-for-1 in the end down in the bot side, but Benji getting a solo kill in the mid.
Yeah, my boy Benji with the mid gap, really well played.
Oh.
Jarvan actually looking on the Olaf, but can't do anything. Olaf's too tanky. But yeah, a beautiful wall by the Anivia, making Orianna eat that Anivia ultimate for so long, and because she doesn't have the flash, there's just no way she can get out of that.
Nice flash forward. I don't know if you saw the Orianna burn her flash by accident, but either way, I think that flash forward, even if there was another flash, wouldn't have mattered. But Blue Eater stuck in a bad spot, stuck in the Glacial Storm, taking so much damage. It's gonna flash, it's gonna smite, staying alive for just a little bit longer, but here comes Sir Cave. Is this going to be a kill? Oh,
Oh,
flash
the
from the
flash
Jarvan
forward.
onto the Blast Code is going to put him in a bad spot. Here comes the combo, not going to land, but the Cataclysm coming through, and he's going to take that kill with the press of the attack, but he might be stuck on the wrong side. Here is the Brand, outputting so much damage, but a stun coming through from Benji once again, stuck in the Glacial Storm with the wall. He's going to take that one. And the Malphite Unstoppable Force is going to claim up Sir K. Benji is very, very low, but it's all a two-man encore. Here comes Super Mega Death Rocket, is not going to kill Bubblegum, but the Ignite might just do it. For Nexus, try flash forward from the Seraphine, but Zalcon is still there, is trying to kill her, but is not going to be able to. Glacial Storm claiming that one. Oh, the Chompers are in the right spot. Southern Warrior has no flash, he's taking so much damage. Here comes the Jinx, and the auto is just not enough to do it. Is he going to be able to flash forward? He's going to miss the auto. No, he's not. He's going to be able to take that one. Kill number 4 for Awesome Sheep.
Yeah, and Sheeper just flexing their gold lead. I don't know why they kept trying to go for the engages. They thought maybe they had an advantage, but the Anivia and Jinx are just so fed, and they're gonna get even more fed now. Yeah, it was just really good zoning from Jinx and Anivia, and you saw so many times the Malphite, the Olaf, they're trying to get on the backline, but they just couldn't, and that ended up with a huge gold lead coming across. That's about 5k over here for the Sheeper.
So it was only the Seraphine and the Jarvan who did end up falling that fight. So overall, very, very good. The Jarvan not the Jarvan ulti, the Malphite Unstoppable Force was used only onto the Jarvan, a one-man ultimate to claim that kill, and he was not available for the rest of the fight.
Yep, and you're gonna see the dragon coming across here. Jinx is gonna have the red buff, which is so good on her for the team fight.
Oh,
doing
Seraphine!
so
Oh
much
my god!
damage. It's a support different here.
So much damage coming through. We're seeing that Brand just not even able to match her at this point in the game.
Yeah, and that's kind of why you don't see Brand support as much anymore. He is very annoying, but these longer range supports do get the better of him. And on top of that, Seraphine's just playing very well with the vision, and just is able to catch him off guard there.
She is outputting a lot of damage here, just chunking everyone she sees at the moment, and that's going to be another trade. But here comes the Jarvan Cataclysm onto 2, and Unstoppable Force onto 2 as well, but Olaf is trying his very, very best. Is he going to be able to take him down? No, he's not. Sircave is going to stay alive here, and Zalcon stuck in the middle of the Death Realm. Sheep able to claim up another kill. Brand and Ezreal falling to her hand, and here comes the Mace. Is going to help that Jinx claim up a triple kill.
Yeah, and a good try for an engage from Exodus Clan, but the Sheepbird is just 2 ahead at this point.
Fighting
And
with
Jinx
Wallach.
getting the triple kill now, and she is just going to take over this game with the Anivia.
Both the carries are super fed. They're outputting so much damage in game number 1 here, and they're making a statement here. They're here for blood. They want to break the tie here. They don't want the Exodus clan to even come close to them in the standings right now.
Yeah, and 10 to 12 KP coming across for the members of the Sheepbird. Very good team play coming across from them, and they have 3 out of the 4 dragons already.
Ooh, and they choose to leave the inhib up, which is very smart. I don't know if that was because they were forced off it, or if it was a decision, but breaking an inhib at 20 minutes is not very smart, especially the mid lane ones, because it just allows the other team to just get a lot of gold and a lot of XP for free.
Yeah, that's true. To give the inhib, but took away the jungle for the side of the Exodus, and this just leaves them starved of resources and being able to walk up in lane and could be punished. You can see Seraphine here looking again with the vision, try and catch someone off guard. She has Electrocute, she has Ignite, she has a first item Rylai. She's gonna look to kill some people right off the bat.
That 90 AP item putting in so much work here. And the wave is just instantly cleared from Benji, so they can't even touch that mid lane. But oh, here comes the Anivia, stunning him once again, and the Encore is going to claim that kill. But the Brand ulti doing a lot of work, but Mordekaiser is looking for something in the bot lane. Is going to walk away, but here comes the True Shot Barrage, going to take down the Anivia. But Agnivia is still available. And
yeah, they do proc the passive, which does have a pretty long cooldown, so we'll see if they can try and punish it in a later team fight. Any way that Exodus can come into this game is to pick up those gigantic bounties on the mid and the bot lane. That would be their way into this game. I want to see them trying to look for picks with the Malphite ulti. His flash is coming up soon too, so they really need to be proactive or they're just going to get suffocated here by the Sheepbirds.
One thing to note, the Seraphine is also sitting on a 400 gold bounty. She is very strong. But Benji might be in a bad spot here. The Olaf is going to try. Here comes the Unstoppable. He's not slowed down at all. The Chem Tank is going to slow her down. Blitzmite following through at the same time, and Benji is caught in a bad spot. But here comes the Seraphine. Flash forward. The double up is enough to keep her alive, and the beat drop is enough. Here comes the Mordekaiser ulting onto Southern Warrior, and the Death Realm must mean death. Even if he is able to live, he's stuck in the choppers, and Sheep going to be able to claim another one.
Yeah, Benji doing a bit of a greedy wall, so Olaf is able to run at him, but Awesome Sheep blowing his heal to keep his boy alive, and they're able to pick off that one small chance that Exodus had to try and get that huge bounty on the India.
And this is just going to be a free Baron because 2 members did fall, both the mid laner and the jungler, but Ezreal has the True Shot Barrage. He might look, but oh my god, that damage from the Seraphine is going to mean that Ezreal is shrunk to half HP. This is going to be a free Baron. True Shot Barrage is just a little too late to be able to take that one away.
Yep, good smack from the Jarvan. Sheepbird playing it consistently. It was a bit of a close call there, but they're able to get the Baron. I want to see them going top and bot now, using the split push power of the Mordekaiser, who has this 2-item core. It's going to be such a menace to deal with right now. And I want to see them cracking those towers, which should not be very hard to do.
And the Anivia is very close to completing that Seraph's Embrace. She is just 1 spell cast away from getting that gigantic AP spike.
Yeah,
oh no, Ezreal is going to be able to use that Arcane Shift to get himself out of that sticky situation. But you see the power of these Anivia walls. It's forcing spells. Oh no, Glue Eater, no, he's going to be stuck in the Cataclysm, not able to get away. And here comes the Jinx, and she's going to be raining free fire, but that wall is not going to help very much because the flash was blown from Glue Eater. Able to keep him alive on 1 HP.
And that's the Olaf counter I was talking about. He can't run through no walls. He's going to have to burn his flash, and he's not going to have it for this upcoming soul fight.
He also will have no Ragnarok.
Right,
Ragnarok might come up midway through
that.
Oh,
great
but
stun
beautiful stun from Benji.
Yeah.
Beautiful root following up from Rednet, but the Encore was used. They do not have that. No Cataclysm, and the combo is dodged, but the Unstoppable Force onto 1. It's not going to mean very much. Surcave is stuck on the front line. It's going to fall. That Brand ulti is able to claim that one up. Awesome Sheep is doing so much work. That range from the rockets outputting so much damage on the entire backline, and a beautiful stun from Benji once again is going to claim that one up, and Southern Warrior stuck on the wrong side of the wall. Here comes Sheep, going to kill Bubblegun under his own tower. No, he's not, but the Olaf is nearby. He's taking so much damage, and there he goes. Sheep is legendary, 10-1 on that Jinx.
Yeah, really good Jinx spike, using her rockets to pick off the one low person and get her passive up and just chase down the other people, while some good Anivia Qs come across. Jarvan looked for a big engage, and it was a good play by Exodus to turn on that and quickly kill him, but the gold lead is just too big right now, and the carry just deals so much damage.
And once again, it was the Malphite using that unstoppable force onto one target. I do think it was not the right call. They should have probably saved it for that dragon fight because everyone ended up dying right before it spawned, and that's not what you want to see.
Yeah, when the engage goes by himself, it kind of creates the pressure for the backline to have to walk up. So he needs to try and look for those. He had the flash ulti, I'm pretty sure, but didn't end up using it. If they got a flash ulti with the Orianna ult and the Ezreal ult follow up, with the brand damage coming in, they can still kill those. It doesn't matter how many items the Jinx and Anivia are sitting on, right?
They are
But
one-shottable.
they were just not able to do it in that fight.
Exactly, and I think that is the problem with this Malphite this game. He's not looking for the greatest of ultimates. He's using it on the solo target, and it's costing a lot. Because the value of using a Cataclysm is a lot less than the value of a Unstoppable Force, but Olaf is caught in a bad spot once again, and he is going to be forced to burn the Ragnarok, taking so much damage. But here comes the Encore. Is it going to land? It is going to land onto him, and he is going to fall to the Super Mega Death Rocket from the Jinx. And Salcon is forced to use that blast and get away. Everyone is slowed up here, but they might look for more. They might look to take another bite. The root is not going to land onto Honey Badger. He is going to be able to walk away here.
Yeah, great wall by the Nivea there, and with some more follow-up ultimates from Sarah. Oh, no,
Ezreal's gonna get stuck into the death realm, but the Mordekaiser just bonks him on the head. He's taking so much damage. He's just walking at him,
just
and that Infernal
microwaving him.
Soul is gonna claim that one. Oh, that is not what you want to see, but a Cataclysm onto one.
Oh, that's what we were looking
Oh,
for.
that is the shutdown you want. The Shockwave is going to mean so much here. Salcon is still alive, but the Orianna is dead. Sircave is trying his best to peel his Anivia, but it was only the Seraphine who was going to fall. Blue Eater stuck in the Glacial Storm, taking so much damage. And both the frontliners on the side of Exodus are just so low. They need to try and protect their towers, but they are going to let them fall, and this might just spell the end of game number 1 here. Everyone is walking up here, and there's just too long of a death timer. There's only 10 seconds, 17 seconds on the Anivia, or on the Orianna, but the Olaf is going to burn the Ragnarok away once again to run away, but the Sheep is doing so much damage over that wall. He's going to take some fountain damage, but that is game number 1. 31 kills to 8.
Very clean game coming across from the Sheepbird. Getting the kills on the right people, executing the right plays with the vision advantage, and the game 1 victory picked up by them.
So the Sheepherd do take game number 1, play it incredibly well here, and making a statement here. They're saying that they are better, but we'll see if this does continue over into game number 2. I do think that the Exodus clan had a good plan going into this game. They just were not able to execute it. They had some minor errors in the solo lanes, in those bot lanes, just giving up a lot of CS and a lot of kills early, and that's what allowed them to snowball through this game and just make a statement.
Yeah, early game definitely easier to execute for the Sheepbird. They have the Mordekaiser counter pick. Their bot lane feels better to play, and the Anivia can have just better wave clear with the Orianna, who runs out of mana if she tries to match it, as we ended up seeing. The combo that the Orianna Malphite into the other follow-up, they ended up doing it in front of their Nexus towers, but it's just too late at that point. They need to try and look for those Wampa combos earlier, but they were just not able to do that against the Sheepbird, who played it very well to pick up the dub.
They played that game number 1 very, very well, and it is going to be the Sheepbird who do take home that game number 1. But overall, who do you think was the player of the game for them?
For me, I'd either be putting it to Anivia or the Jinx. Since Anivia was deathless and had some great walls, I'm gonna give it to my boy Benji. He has been popping off on that pick, and he just showed the lane game, just solo killing Orianna in lane, and just really putting up a statement to ask for the Anivia ban now.
Definitely, he was putting in some work there. And it worked out very, very well. We've seen him start playing that Anivia, and it's working very, very well. And I do think Benji played that game incredibly well. I think everyone on the side of the Sheepbird played that very, very well. And I like the itemization from the Seraphine. Normally, I am a huge advocate for the Moonstone, but I think this time that Riley's Crystal Scepter made some lives a living nightmare. But
yeah, it's really strong lane coming across here. We should be heading into game 2 now. Just putting everyone into the lobby again.
So we will go on a quick break while we do get everything set up for game number 2. We'll be back very, very shortly. If you don't want to miss it, we'll be right back. Alright everyone, let me turn on this music real quick, but it is going to be Mr. Benji taking home that player of the game. And I think he played very, very, very well in game number 1.
Yeah, like I said before the vote even went across, really well played by him. He really knows how to use the Anivia kit. Um, and also another person who also got a vote in there, Jinx, was played really well by Awesome Sheep too. So shout out to him as well.
Both the carries playing incredibly, incredibly well. But I think there is also one thing we could also speak on as well. The pathing from Sir Cave was very, very helpful for the rest of his team. He was there when they needed him. Whenever his laners called, he was there.
Yeah, and he proactively looked for plays. He camped mid at the start, got his Anivia ahead, and was on top of the Dragon game. They've got their Infernal Soul very early, and basically made it impossible for the other team to come back. So very well played by him as well.
I think both of the carries played very well, and I think both supportive players of the Jarvan and the Seraphine were just incredible.
I'll be fuddling.
Oh, thank you, Red Wheelbarrow, for these subs. Thank you very, very much for those 5 gifted tier 1s. So, yes, I think everyone on the side of the Sheepherd played very, very well, but I think there were some things that could have been done better for the Exodus clan. What do you think?
Totally. I wanted to see them trying to use their combos a bit better. They got it right at the end of the game, and they were close to killing them, but they were just too far ahead. Yeah. That combo is deadly. It doesn't matter how far ahead the enemy team was. If you got that in a dragon fight, that is an angle to turn it around from.
And I think what did end up happening is there were a couple solo ultimates that we did see, and I think that was an issue that could be rectified if it was either a different champion being played or if they were more decisive with their shot calling. I think the Malphite was ulting more so of his own accord rather than for his team, and I think if team play is a little bit better, I think they have a better shot because they drafted such a big wombo combo. It could have been used a little bit more effectively.
Yeah, for sure. We'll see if they try and make those improvements going into the next game as well, or if there's going to be any draft changes coming across to help Exodus have a bit of an easier time.
So I think the drafts were very good for both sides, and we are going to go into draft real quick. Everything is looking good. Everything is looking nice. So we'll see how things go for game number 2.
Yeah, and looks like they've actually gone a bit into the draft already, but the same bands coming across, the 3 ADC bands coming across at the start. MF, Kaisa, Vayne taken off the board.
Same exact bands.
Yeah, we'll see if Jinx is added to the list too, because they definitely had some trouble with that as well.
Putting Sheep on those hyper carries is proving to work out very, very well. It is Pantheon ban coming once again, and the Anivia is going to be banned from the Exodus, or the Exodus clan is going to ban the Anivia this time, not letting Benji onto that.
Definitely needed a monstrous Anivia performance coming in from Benji, and the Sheepherd are going to take the Hecarim away, really get banned from Red side. We'll see what Exodus end up picking up first here.
So the Sheepherd stick with the exact same bands, but the Seraphine is going to be picked up for Exodus because they are blue side game number 2, so they are going to get access to that god tier champion in my eyes.
Yeah, just definitely should always be a first pick. Exodus in the right to pick that one up. We'll see what ADCs or junglers Sheepherd can kind of get the priority picks for here. But yeah, Seraphine, really good power pick and is a force to be reckoned with. We'll see what answer Sheepherd have to respond with. I'd like to see some hard engaged supporters to try and punish her squishiness and mobility there.
And the Nautilus.
Perfect.
The 20 seconds of CC champion himself going to be picked up here for RedNed23. A good answer into the Seraphine. The engage range is not nearly as long, but the amount of time he can keep you CC'd is.
Yeah, definitely a good pick coming across. We'll see what ADC they want to try and pair it with, or if they want to get a head start on the jungler. I think there's a lot of still power picks left open. They could go for the Jarvan again to just try and lock down that Seraphine. He played it very well last time. Don't see why not. He can pick it up again.
Sir Cave playing that Jarvan very, very well, but Sheep is going to bring out the stylist herself, the Samira, looking to kill things with that Inferno trigger.
Yeah, really good champion to be picked up here. She can just W Seraphine ult right off the bat, make her use it. She can W her snare as well. So a good champion against the Seraphine coming across here. And the Nautilus is also pairing really well with her. to try and go in.
Oh.
But on the other hand, it's the Rel, which means we didn't talk about this, but the Seraphine is a flex. It can go ADC, it can go mid. I would like to see it go mid here. I think Seraphine Rel doesn't have the best synergy, but a really good mid matchup.
Definitely. I think Seraphine is going to be necessary in that mid lane because there's a lot of things that can be mitigated from her because of the Samira pick. But the Rel, I think, is just overall better than Nautilus right now. In a really good spot, has a lot of ways to force a lot more easily.
Yep, just engage Honey from 2 screens away, just flash ult the entire team together for the Seraphine ulti to come across. Samira cannot dash to teammates anymore, so she can't do that. And the Sivir coming across.
Very interesting. I don't know how I feel about that, though. Yes, the Sivir is a great answer into the Nautilus, but you're into a Samira.
Yeah, and Sivir, she is decent as you can block the Nautilus hook, but Nautilus is one of those champions where he has so many different types of CC. He can Q you, he can ult you, he can even flash auto you. Sivir can spell shield everything, and she has a very short range. So we'll see how she ends up dealing with it. And the Victor from Benji coming across, this is one of his main champions. Looking forward to seeing it on the Rift.
That Victor looking very, very nice here because there are quite a little bit of low-range champions here on the Exodus clan. That 80 carry is looking like Victor food right now.
Yeah, that Sivir might have a double F moment coming up later in the game. Not much she can do about that. She is just gonna get one shot. But yeah, they do have a really good engage coming across. There's Seraphine, the Rel, and the Sivir ulti, so they'll be looking to use that on Samira and Victor. I want to see some really nice damage top laners coming across to help with that as well. And some carry junglers would be good to see us too.
So we saw a double lift happen yesterday. Well, it might happen again, but we'll see what else is picked up here. They do need to pick something to answer that Victor, and we'll see what they do have in store for it. Final bans are going to come
good ban
through.
from both teams, honestly. Jarvan to keep away the hard lockdown, the Aatrox that we had seen in the first phase last game. And yes, Set and Olaf.
The deer was not banned
Udyr,
away.
I love it. Yeah, Udyr, one of my favorite champions right now. That champ is still, even after the nerfs, still kind of broken.
Busted.
Can just run down your ADC. You guys might think Sivir has a spell shield, but you blue smite right before the E, and she can't do much about it.
Or you can just
The
use
Lilia
your Phoenix
reply.
stance.
Yeah, the Lilia reply is also really good. I think she's one of the champs that is pretty decent into the Udyr. She can match his clear, and she can kite around very well and match his speed too. However, Samira really good into the Lilia if the Samira player knows how to play it. You can actually W Lilia ult, so if they can group together and just nullify that, that would just make Lilia useless in terms of engage.
And the Samira is just looking very, very strong here. There's so much she can mitigate by just existing in the game, but it is going to be the Scary Darius blind picked. We'll see if Trash Plays has an answer for that one, but Darius is very strong right now, but we don't know. I'm not too sure how well he fares in competitive play, so we'll see if they have an answer. He's very good in solo queue, yes, but solo queue doesn't matter here.
I completely agree with you. The Darius can definitely be played around. We'll see what kind of answer they want to look into him. Tank, something like the Ornn, to just focus on helping the team fight, or if they want to try and top gap and beat the Darius with the Jace pick that might come across here.
Oh, they're hovering it, and it is going to be locked in. Very, very aggressive pick coming in from Trash Plays here, but we'll see if it does pay off.
Yeah,
It's a do or
got
die
the
for
NHAs coming across. We'll see if it really does end up being NHAs, or if this guy is just a smurf on the champion and can use his range advantage to just bully the Darius.
But the new Stridebreaker is going to help this Darius out a lot in this matchup here. A longer dash into that range or into that Jace is going to help out so much.
Yeah, if Darius goes Ghost, he has the Stridebreaker, then he has no problem closing the gap between him and Jace. That new range on the Stridebreaker, I think it's like 3/4 of a flash now. I'd love to see the Darius going for it and trying to get on the Jace, on the Victor, on the Samira in these team fights too. So should be a deadly pick if he can pilot it well.
It is going to be all about execution once again. There is so many mistakes that can be made from either team, and it's going to be very bloody.
Yeah, and although Jace might have a bit of trouble like fighting the Darius, you can be pretty sure that he will get the push advantage, and getting push advantage in his lane means that Udyr can roam into the enemy jungle, and between Udyr and Lilia, it's kind of going to be a power farming game. Early on, we'll see who can kind of steal camps away from each other. So yeah, the jungle matchup is very volatile. I want to see laners trying to help them out and helping one jungler make the other one useless.
Junglers are very, very important here, and the fact that both of these very, very strong champions got through. But one thing I would like to see from the Lilia is going towards that Moonstone Renewer here. I think the Seraphine would be better suited towards that damage role in this game, in my opinion. And having that Lilia on more of that supportive engage role is better.
Yeah. Speaking more about the mid matchup, Victor just kind of gets to free scale over here. Seraphine, really interesting champion, but not going to have a lot of kill threat. I'd be really surprised if Victor trying to get solo killed. So yeah, Victor should just scale up for free here. So I do like the Victor matchup into Seraphine. Seraphine has good shove, so can definitely not let the Victor roam, but Victor can match that shove and can scale up, get his upgrades on his abilities over time as he farms, and should be a force reckoning within the late game, just like the Seraphine.
Definitely. So yes, this is on patch 11.5. This is on the new one, and there is a lot of wombo combo once again drafted for Exodus, but we did see that they did have problems executing on their wombo combo. We'll see if they're able to regroup in game number 2, and we'll see if it works out.
Yeah, for sure. So overall, in total, just we've talked about the top lane, jungle, and mid. Looking at the bot lane, Sivir and Rel versus Samira Nautilus. I would give the edge to Samira Nautilus because Samira's just a newer champ than Sivir. She's going to be able to do a lot more. But this edge that Sivir can give is to just be able to push Samira in, and in team fights, just use her ult to help Rel, Lilia, and Darius just run at the opponents. Having Sivir ult plus the Seraphine W can give you so much speed, whether it's to engage on them or kite out the Udyr and Victor to just help them get the edge in the team fight. So we'll see how well the Sivir needs to be piloted, because her utility needs to be used very well to keep the CC of the enemy away, and as well as give them mobility for her teammates.
So one thing to note that we could see is the lethality Sivir build. We'll see if that does come through, but we are winding down here. We are looking to go back into loading screen, so we'll be right back. We'll see if things turn out very, very well for the XS clan, so we'll be right back. You don't want to miss game number 2. This is do or die for them.
I saw you smile from across the bar. Yeah, she was pretty and so close but so far. She flipped her hair and I thought this can't be true. How does a man like me get someone like you? And then she looked at me and I was confused. Everyone here can't be the one that she'll choose. And I looked back and saw the spark in her eyes. This can't be real, my head's telling me lies. Just like that, you're coming closer to me. Come shake me, grab me, so I wake up from this dream. I can't breathe, come at me. I don't know if I can speak. Then she said, come with me and let's be free. The night is young and I think this could go far. The sky is dark but you're my shooting star. Could see her face reflect upon the moon. It was a pretty summer night in June. And then she looked at me and I was confused. Everyone here can't be the one that she'll she'll choose. And I look back and saw the spark in her eyes. This can't be real, my head's telling me lies. Just like that, you're coming closer to me. Come shake me, grab me, so I wake up from this dream. I can't breathe, come at me. I don't know if I can speak. Then she said, come with me and let's be free. Let's be free.
Alright, folks, welcome back. Here we go. Game number 2 starting off. We'll see which team takes it home today. And so far, we're going to talk about some interesting rune choices. So what do you think
Yeah.
of the Dark Harvest on that Sivir, Mr. Karthik?
Yeah, so there might be a lethality Sivir coming across. Before we talk about that, though, it does look like they're looking for an invade here with the Nautilus. Has 2 forms of CC level 1. Sivir might end up being caught out here.
Uh-oh. She's gonna flash!
Yep, the respect flash coming across there. Tribush is the scariest place. Sivir, it's really awkward for her to start spell shield level 1, so better to just flash it at that point.
Yeah.
Nautilus would definitely just auto her after the Q, and there's nowhere for her to go. But yeah, Dark Harvest Sivir means that like they're not gonna really have like damage going on into the rest of the game if like the Lily and the Seraphine don't get fed. So like having like the Udyr tankiness and the Nautilus just gives such a good front line that like they're not gonna be able to do much against it in like objective fight.
The Jace was spotted out here, and if he walks the wrong way, he might be dead, but he is gonna walk respectfully, and he is gonna live.
Looks like they just want to start on the red buff enemy team. We'll see if they end up spawning it out by the way Darius walks back into lane. I do like them looking for that though. Lilia can take the red and easily take the Raptors because you can be pretty sure that Udyr is going to full clear. That's what he always wants to do. We'll see if he does end up going for the enemy red. It looks like he's already pathing down, so that should mean that he will.
Definitely. We'll see what he does, but...
He's actually sitting in the bush, so I'm not sure if he's going to look for a level 2 cheese gank with the bear stance here.
He's going. Flash 4 from the Nautilus is going to root up Bubble Gun, and he's going to be pulled in by the hook, and he's going to be taken down. First blood over to this awesome sheep on the Samira.
Oh my god, just really good plays coming across. They know Sivir doesn't have a flash. They know the Nautilus can flash on her, Udyr can flash on her, and there's nothing Sivir can do. So really good plays coming across. Udyr, I know people just like to focus on using his really good clear speed, but taking the level 2 bear stance, even though you usually go at level 4, sacrificing some to get his team ahead, and Samira ahead is a very scary sight, so really it's that coming across.
So we do see the Udyr pathing towards that red buff, so he does realize that he was invaded early on.
Yeah, good intel by him. Someone probably relayed that to
Oh,
him.
and beautiful hook onto the Rel, and E4 from Samira is going to force the flash out of that force, but the knockup auto is going to pull the red net into the tower. He's going to take 2 tower shots, but everyone is solo. Flash 4 from Sheep is not going to do much, but everyone is super duper low down in that bot side.
Wow. Really good hook by the Nautilus, and the Sheep and Nautilus played it really well, but then they just got too aggressive. 3 tower shots, flash push by Samira, and it kind of just became all even again, even though they had a huge lead.
It is going to
Yeah.
be the heal blown, though, so they are sitting at a slight summoner advantage for now. Exhaust is nowhere on that rel, and is not going to be up in time because the Ignite is
Yeah.
coming up earlier.
And Jace is also hard pushed here. We'll see if Lilia does end up going across to help the Darius out. It is vertical jungling, so Jace will be the weak side, while Udyr gets to have his lay of the land on the bot side. Benji has the wave in a very good position, so it should be really easy for the Udyr to look and maybe try and blow Seraphine's flash.
There
We'll
are no
see him
vision
trying to
on
come
that bot
across
side, and
here.
here comes the bear. He might look, like you said.
Looks like he's not going to. But definitely was a good opportunity for him there. Maybe he just wants to keep his farm ahead and not get too behind the Lilia.
One thing to
Yeah.
note, that Sivir is sitting on a tier, so she has very, very little combat stats here, down in the bot side. Very, very
I
squishy
am
too.
so confused by that. Like, so they're not gonna get ahead in lane. I don't know how they're gonna get a lot of Dark Harvest stacks. I don't know how they're gonna get damage for their team. Yeah, it is looking very
Oh,
rough
the
at
hook
the
is
start
going
of
to
the
go
game.
wide though. Here comes the Rel, knocking up and stunning Red Ned here. No aftershock for him, but this block is going to come through from that whirlwind, and some decent damage back from Sheep onto that Sivir.
Yeah, a good look by the Rel, but Sivir with the tier isn't gonna deal that much damage. So yeah, just ends up being Samira using her moving wind wall to just block all of Sivir's autos, and they're able to
Here
get
it
out scot free.
She was going to look for that auto, but Red Ned was smart and backed off under his tower, stopping that from happening.
Yep. Seraphine is trying to get the shove in here. We'll see which one of them can get the shove. They're both really low on mana. The junglers might come across to help them shove the lane in too, but we'll see what ends up happening. Benji's kind of just chilling. He knows he's not really going to die to a Lilia Seraphine gank, especially with flash up, so he gets to scale for free there.
And the Victor also is sitting on 2 cookies, so he has the mana sustain with those biscuits. And he can stay in lane for a
Check out
lot
what Lilia's
longer.
first item is.
Oh, it is the Moonstone Renewer. I was correct, but Benji, not going to flash the root, is going to be slowed by the Lilia. He's taking so much damage, is going to flash away, but it is going to be a Dark Harvest stack picked up for her.
Yep, even though he does get rooted, he can just burn the flash and get out and set. He is able to push that wave in, so good for him there. But yeah, the first item on the Lilia is the Vandal Glass Mirror, which means that she is not going to have too much damage going across this game. And that brings about the worries that we were talking about with their team just not having enough damage as we move on later into the game. So we'll see how that ends up affecting them later.
So we do see the power of the Sivir lane. She's able to push even the ahead Samira and Nautilus permanently. They are not allowed to walk up into the wave because they're just going to get poked out. So respect
Right, yeah,
from them.
she can isn't really spamming Qs too much, just making sure to pick up the CS. I think they're just okay with being shoved in. Samira has a really good time CSing under tower with their Q too, because it's such a short cooldown. It's basically another auto. So she is not really afraid to like get shoved under tower here. There's not really any kill threat because Lilia is mainly playing on the top side. So but you can see a gigantic CS lead being built up over here with the mid lane and the bot lane combined. Samira is going to be very scary as this game goes.
One thing to note, the Jace is even with the Darius right now. Is sitting on that tier though. Did back to grab that one, so he's going to be stacking that up, grabbing that Mana Mune. But he is going to be able to hopefully freeze that wave, and the Darius has no way to answer that because he has the Ghost.
Yeah, Darius doesn't have flash up right now, so we'll see if Udyr can come to punish that somehow. Looks like he's just going to be going down to his bot side, trying to focus on the dragon maybe, do his bot camps as well. So he definitely won't be able to get back in time to top lane to punish that flash. We'll see if he can burn any more flashes over here. They could look to set up a freeze here bot lane. I think that might freeze.
That can freeze, but Sivir is
Yep.
very, very good at breaking those because of her innate wave clear as a champion. So it's very, very hard to freeze against a Sivir, but it's very, very easy to freeze against a Darius.
Right, yeah. Darius is also trying to key the wave and try and push that in, and Sivir's going to do the same thing, just try to push that to tower. But Nautilus can actually do a decent job of tanking it up, and he tried to do that here, and it looks like they're going to try and hold the freeze. I want to see Udyr coming down here to try and force a flash or something, because Nautilus has his level 6. He can look for that huge all-in, and you can see the Udyr running
I
down.
do see it happening. E4 from Sheep, flash forward is going to land, no spell shield in time, and he's going to be slapped by the bear, and this is just going to be another kill for the Samira down in the bot lane. Not
And
respecting
bubble gun, not spell shielding the Nana's flash key. You gotta be able to do that. That's the key thing on the server to stay safe. So he is gonna end up going down. He burns his flash too, even though he knows that's not gonna help too much. Just Nautilus flash burnt there.
Oh, the
Get
Encore is
kill.
going to land, and the root is going to
Seraphine
follow up.
all
Seraphine
in.
might be solo killing here, but Benji is going to grab that shield from his Q, is going to run away, has that phase rush to move at the speed of sound, but he might just step too far forward, is going to fall to that beat drop.
Oh, Benji just looking for a bit too much there and gets punished. Well played by the Seraphine
Took
to
too
actually
much.
get the solo kill on the Victor. That's gonna help her out massively. She was struggling a bit with this. This is gonna help her get back into the game.
You know how I said she should go damage as the Seraphine? I don't like the item she's building. She is building towards that Luden's Tempest, but here comes Sheep flashing forward. Or it was not Sheep that flashed forward, so it was Serkei, but no, the sleep is going to land. Here comes the Samira, the flare points, the Inferno Trigger might just be enough. Samira is going to be able to claim that one on the front end, and the Rel is going to fall too. Beautiful TP coming through is going to help them stay alive. Thank you, Benji, for that one. And that's a 4-0 Samira with a single Doran's blade.
Yeah, that is gonna be really scary. You can see what she's gonna back for here. Gonna be a lot of golds getting put into
Lot
her
of money
inventory.
is sitting on 44.
Big
Oh,
shield
that's a
purchase
full shield
right off
build
the
buy.
bat.
Oh, that is not what you want to see if you are that silver. You should be pooping your pants right now. That is
Yep, the
very
tier in the inventory seems appropriate. I wouldn't be too happy.
I'd be crying too. Oh, that's not what you want to see. But respectful buy from the Darius going for those plated steel caps up against the Jace. It is a very efficient buy. It does a lot against a lot of the members of the Sheepherd. So it's good for him to respect that instead of going for that aggressive buy like the Iron Spike Whip. He is just going to respect that damage from the Jace from the Udyr.
Yeah, and you're talking about the Seraphine buy with the Ludens. She's trying to go for kind of like the one shot, but I agree that's not like the best item to go
Definitely.
for there.
I believe the new Everfrost would be the way to go, but Glue Eater is going to miss that Swirl Seed, and the slow is going to mean that Southern Warrior is going to get stunned up, but Benji walked into the root, and he's going to be forced to flash. He's taking a lot of damage here. Here comes the Chaos Storm onto Glue Eater, taking so much damage, but Zalcon is here, might be able to look for something on the back end of this. But Benji walking too far forward again, but flash forward from the Udyr. Bear Slap Smite might be able to kill Southern Warrior, but he is stuck in the middle of 3, and he's going to fall for that flash forward.
Yeah, and they're just looking for too much here. Like, they know Jace isn't going to be there, Darius is going to be there first, so good. Like, they need to do the math there and understand not to fight. Udyr nerfs not make it, like, he's not going to be able to kill the Seraphine there.
Oh,
Looks
a
like
nice
he's gonna
hook
dodge
onto
that.
the...
Oh,
Oh no, this is just going to be another kill. The Vagaswarm is not enough. Here comes the Inferno Trigger, and the Honey Badger is going to fall. Oh,
Yep,
nice
that's
try.
just
Nice
a
look, but
great hook
this
from
is
the
wallet.
Nautilus.
This is a wallet differential coming out here from the side of the Sheepherd. They cannot
Pretty
even look for anything. And the
Yeah,
spell
and
shield came
first
in
item
too
from
late.
Sivers.
Again.
First item from Sivir is coming out here, but it's a Mana Moon versus the shield though. So again, they're not going to be able to do much. You're going to see the bot lane getting plates. They have a big CS lead. Is definitely going to be a very strong Samira coming
Oh,
across
flash
here.
forward from the Darius. This is going to mean that Jace might fall here. The Swirl Seed is coming out here, and the Sleep is going to follow through. But Zalcon has stayed way too long. Is going to die to the tower, and that should not have been a 1-for-1.
Yeah, they kind of panicked after the sleep came across. Lilia definitely had to be the one to tank tower there. Darius taking that shot when he really didn't need to. Ended up giving over the 1-for-1. There's actually a lot of time when you do get that sleep across, so they definitely had the time for Lilia to move across, tank tower, Darius get the dunk, and then walk away. So maybe can try to do a bit better actually.
Should not have been a trade kill, and the Executioner respectful buy from the Jace is very, very smart here. Decent amount of healing going to come through for the entire team, because that Lilia has the Moonstone Renewer, and the Darius just has a lot of innate healing, a lot of health regen, and stopping that is going to be very helpful in lane.
Yeah, I want to see Grievous Wounds picked up by the damage dealers too, because there's just healing everywhere across the game. Seraphine innate, Lilia Moonstone, and we'll see if Sivir gets some lifesteal as well. She might need it compared to how much damage is going to be thrown at her in these fights.
And if you know it or not, Rel also has a decent amount of healing in her kit as well with that Q. So she has some healing as well. And Samira on her own should warrant an Executioner's buy or a Bramble Vest buy. You know, something. Anything, please.
Yeah, and I want to take a moment to look at the jungle diff that's also going on here. 94 to 65 here. Udyr just doing Udyr things, clearing super fast, healing cancel Lilia, and just getting so ahead.
Did that blue go over to the Udyr? Let's take a look.
Yeah, it might have
It
there.
did go over to the Udyr!
Oh, the flash engage.
Oh, down that bot side, the flash engage, the Magnet Storm is going to try and peel, but Honey Badger might be stuck. Inferno Trigger is going to come out. Honey Badger is going to fall on the front side. Udyr taking that one. Bot up in the top side. Trash Plays walking up too far is going to fall too. The heal is going to save that jungler, and Awesome Sheep is playing super, super well in game number 2. 7-0 in 13 minutes. Make that 14, so 2 kills, or a kill every 2 minutes for him.
Yeah, the top dive goes better than this time, but 2 kills being picked up by the big gang for the Udyr, using his chem tank, using his speed with his abilities to make it so that the enemy bot lane, even though they get under tower, they can't really do anything.
It's going south very, very fast. That Samira is a monster already. 131 CS in 14 minutes. 7 kills in 14 minutes. That is not what you want to see.
Yeah, and you see this is going to be Ocean Soul coming across,
Oh,
which makes
no.
it very hard to kill these enemies, especially from behind. And especially now that they don't have the damage, it is looking very rough for Edmonds here.
It is incredibly difficult. But the Darius is relatively strong right now. He is 2-1.
Yeah, but how much will he be able to do into chase with the healing reduction gain the Ocean Soul? I do want to see more healing reduction being picked up as they get more dragons, because it is going to be pretty hard for them to contest these dragon fights with how ahead the Samira is, and with Victor getting a decent lead as well.
Oh.
He does have some item leads coming across here. Oh, will Udyr come down for the
No,
gank?
he will not. Nothing
Yeah,
gonna
Knowles
come
just
through.
isn't here, so he's going to maybe just get his wells on the dragon.
One thing I like about this support is he's burning his flash on cooldown at this point. Every time he has flash up, he's flashing on that Sivir. He's testing her, and every time she's failing the skill check.
Yeah, I can't blame him for the ones in the bush. We still have to be ready for those. Always have to be ready for the Nautilus hook. But when Nautilus flash hooks you max range, like especially there, you have to be able to shield that, or else like Sivir is just way too hard to execute. And yeah, she's just really behind right now. She has a Mana Moon and some CDR boots, so she can push waves well, but her combat power is just non-existent.
The Samira's already sitting on 2.5 items, almost finished that collector. And the Nautilus is having a fun time there. He's swimming in the air, having a good time.
Yep, and on top of that, just really good CSing. 16 minutes, you see 150 CS from mid and the ADC. You see 20 CS lead in the top lane. You see a 30 CS lead in the jungle. Things are looking really good for its third here.
This is what you want to see here from these laners, and it is working wonders. We'll see what happens here in the mid lane, but Benji putting in a lot of work in Southern Warrior, and he's already taken down a quarter of his HP.
Yeah, that's what I've been talking about. Victor's just gonna get the skill for free. It was nice to see that one Seraphine solo kill come in, but every minute that's gonna be harder for her to match that Victor, because Victor's just gonna start one-shotting soon.
And we do see just some vision being cleared down in the bot side. They are looking to probably posture and make sure this Lilia is not allowed to farm. It's already a jungle gap. We'll see if this is made even farther, maybe a jungle chasm. We'll see.
Yeah, and after Udyr does finish up his dead man's play, which he does seem to be going for, he's gonna be running so fast that when Sivir doesn't ult flash, then like Udyr just catches up to her. You have the Nautilus layering on the CC, and they just kill her under tower. There's nothing that Sivir can do.
Yeah, it's not
Actually
looking too
nothing.
great here for almost every member on the side of the Exodus clan. And they're just getting invaded in their own jungle already, and it's only 17 minutes in.
Yep, the bottom side jungle is now the Sheepherds jungle. The other team just cannot enter, or they will be picked off, and that's what they're looking for here.
And the EQ from Chase, but the Ghost 4 from the Shredbreaker is going to mean a lot of damage going down onto Trash Plays, and he's stuck on the wrong side of the lane. He's going to get dunked down. He's going to fall. Solo kill for Zalcon up in the top lane.
That's exactly, I called it in draft, the Ghost on the Darius with the Stridebreaker, and Jace will try to outrun it, but he cannot, and Darius just dunks on it. This is the win condition for Exodus. They need to try and play around this Darius to get gold into him, and he needs to have a huge impact on team fights in order for Exodus to have any chance to come back in the game.
You know how Juggernauts are classified? They're supposed to be low mobility champions who have a hard time closing the gap. I don't think that Darius had a hard time closing that gap in any way. Oh, flash away from Honey Badger in the mid lane, but the hook is still going to land! The dredge line is going to mean a lot, and here comes the stun from the Victor. That hole is doing so much work, and the Magnets from might kill Circade here, but the Encore is going to land onto only Rednet, but that doesn't mean anything if Benji's able to flash forward, but he is able to run away from that one. The Sivir living on just a sliver of HP, but that is going to be a turret falling down in that top side. But here comes the Sheep up in behind 2 towers, doing so much work on that Samira. The style points are coming through. The Inferno trigger is going to mean so much damage going down, and it's a triple kill for Sheep.
Oh my god, that was beautifully played from Sheep, using the resets really well on his E to just dance around the fight and kill everyone. That Samira is 10-0. She is going off this game.
That is an 0-5 Sivir. That is an 0-4 Rel, and this bot lane is just not performing.
Yeah, it's looking like a very tough situation. Props to Samira showing off the sick mechanics there, showing her that she's a season 11 champion, just zipping around the fights with her resets. And now she has her collector too, plus an additional BF sword. It is just gonna be hell for this year.
She is incredibly strong right now, and she is also super fat in level. She is level 11. She has the same level as her jungler, and almost the same level as the solo laners of Exodus. She is just having a supreme influx of, you know, just XP, of gold, of everything, really.
Yeah, for sure. Samira is also one of those snowballing ADCs, so you knew that at the start of the game, if she did get a few kills, she was just gonna pop off super hard. And with her ult, she's just so hard to kill, and with the added mobility of her W. And she seems to be using her spell shield better than Sivir's, I'll be honest, because I haven't seen her get hit with much yet. She's using her stacks to get her ult up, and the Udyr also helping out with the flash E into the Samira ult to kill that last person under tower there. So the whole team just playing super well together.
At this point, Sheep can just run around with his wallet and make everyone bow down to him. He is super, super far ahead. And everyone is playing very, very well on the Sheep herd. Other than the Trash Plays, who is playing very, very well in game number 1, is sort of getting rolled by the Darius here. And the Jace is supposed to be a good kick pick, but here comes the Encore, landing onto just Rednet, but the hook is going to follow through onto that Seraphine, and the knockup is coming through from Samira, and that is another kill for Sheep. And here comes the Udyr running at the speed of sound. Flash under tower is still going to be stunned up, and the sleep is going to follow through only onto the Udyr. That Lullaby is not going to mean very, very much, and the dredge line is going to go wide though. So no kill on that little deer, but we see the superior deer here on the side of the Sheep herd.
Yeah, it was a nice try to look there, but the enemy team is just too strong. They are not going to be able to kill them. We talked about the damage issues.
Oh no, not again,
Oh.
Sivir, not again, but a beautiful flash forward from Honey Badger. He's able to land a beautiful, beautiful Pheromancy Storm, but it's not going to mean anything because Sheep is doing so much work here, and he is going to be taken
Snipe.
very, very low. But holy, things are not going to plan.
Yeah, a good engage by Honey Badger there. He's actually able to get everyone, but the team is just too behind right now. And Sivir, you have got to spell shield these hooks because that is literally what is the only thing that keeps you safe. But she is not able to do that, and that means Tower and Baron are going to be picked up here. After they reset, they should start pushing in and cracking that base.
Alright. You know, the Rel may be 0-5, but, like, I don't think that's completely her fault. She's playing incredibly well. She's landed a lot of beautiful engages, and it's unfortunately just the Sivir not spell shielding in time, getting caught out. That's costing their bot lane so many kills.
Yeah, honestly,
Oh no! Stuck in the wrong side is Rednet. Stridebreaker is going to slow him down, going to be pulled. And he might just fall here. He is going to miss. Flash forward is going to mean a dunk to the Nautilus's face. His skull is going to be broken in half. And this just might be a mid tower.
Getting a bit cocky, and it's getting caught up there.
Not going to land, but the Darius is going to ghost forward. Not going to land the pull onto Sheep, and Sheep is still alive. Little low, though. Did get chunked by that Sivir Q. That is the lethality coming through.
Yeah, good to see that Exodus have not given up yet. They are trying to look with the lead from the Darius. They are able to get one tower here. We'll see if they're able to win the soul fight. if they're able to do
Uh-oh,
that.
here comes the deer. He's gonna slap the
Here's
Seraphine
running.
right in the face, and that's a lot of damage onto the Seraphine already. The Lilting Lullaby is gonna land, but here comes the Encore onto 2. Beautiful from the Seraphine, and that is gonna be a fallen victor, but the Storm is not gonna meet enough. Samira is just gonna jump into the backline, pulling out so much damage right out of her collection. And this is gonna be a quadra. This might be the penta. Here comes the Udyr. The heal is gonna be the Moose Beat. This might just be a dead Seraphine. Here comes Sheep. Dashing forward. That is a pentakill for 8-8. Awesome Sheep 8-8.
The pentakill coming across for awesome Sheep. Samira just blew people up in that team fight. She is so ahead. She was 12-0 coming across at the start of it, and it's 17-0 now.
Slashing and flashing, dashing and everything.
But yeah, she was just zooming around that fight, kind of looking like the old Fiora used to be. But yeah, that is gonna be GG.
Here comes Honey Badger trying to make something happen. He is very, very tanky. Sergey is very, very low, but the Samira is here to make things happen. And that is going to be Trash Play picking up that one. Flash forward, here comes the collection. The collection here is coming through, but ooh, the Darius damage coming through. The lifesteal from Samira is just so much. And Conquer is proc, and down goes Glue Collector, or Glue Eater, and that is just game number 2. Very, very well played from the Sheep Herd.
That is game. That was a huge bug camp coming across there, and a huge jungle diff too. I must say, Udyr played very well to get the the Samira ahead there.
That flash, or that cheese gank was very, very smart. And you were right, getting a Samira ahead, that's what you want to do. That's what happened. She ended the game 19-0.
Yeah, it definitely paid off. You saw Udyr going for the cheese level 2 gank, taking the bear stance level 2, killing off the Sivir by getting the Nautilus to flash on her, and that's what you need to do. There's really not much that Sivir can do in that situation, and after that they kept punishing the Sivir. Sivir's not able to spell shield the attempts from the Nautilus, and it was just GG based off that. Samira took over that game.
She took the game and ran with it. She had a huge damage differential. She had more than double the damage of the next leading damage dealing champion on either team. 21,000 to her name, and the Seraphine did the second most, sitting at 10k, but I mean, it doesn't matter when the Samira's doing more than your entire team combined.
Yeah, they had a pretty fed Darius. Darius probably doing really good in there. He's like, yeah, I'm 3-1, and then looks at the 10-0 Samira on the other side, and he's like, oh. And yeah, that's pretty much GG.
That was game, and she played out of his mind in game number 2. So what do you think? Who do you think deserves player of the game right here, right now, Karthik?
It has to go to the Samira. You can't get a not the player of the game there. Nautilus and Udyr did well to get her ahead, but just beautiful plays in these team fights. He navigated them beautifully and ended up with the pentakill to end off the game. Awesome Sheep. That's my player of the game.
That's what you want to see. A beautiful, beautiful pentakill coming out. So we do have our player of the game poll coming through. Sheep is already leading the poll at 1 vote already. So I think he deserves it. He played incredibly well game number 2. He played well game number 1 as well. And we'll discuss more of this game later. We'll be back in 5 minutes as this player of the game poll is going to go live. I'll be right back.
Let me call you tonight, and I need you in my life. Baby, I miss you so much. Just 2 pills, I dream about you all night. They're in love, but sex was alright. At the club, I see you, you're shining bright. I'ma take you home, we'll have fun all night. Sick of love, but I need you in my life. I'm sorry, love, but you don't have to fight. Let me come and let me hug you tight. Baby, I'm the reason and I need you in my life. Baby, I miss you so much. Just 2 pills, I
At the club, I see you, you're shining bright. I'ma take you home, we'll have fun all night.
Welcome back, everyone. Real quick, I am going to turn on this music, but it is going to be, who would have guessed, 888 or 88 Awesome Sheep 88 as your player of the game for game number 2, and the Sheep Herd definitely rolled game number 2. It was in their hands. They put the game on their backs and just ran with it. It was like a backpack. They carried themselves to victory. They didn't need anyone. It was all them on their own. They played very, very well overall. So what do you think, Mr.
Yeah,
Karthik?
Awesome Sheep, player of the game with the pentakill in the last fight. He played that game perfectly from start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was zipping on those team fights so well, really showing his mechanical prowess on the character, and it was just a huge ADC diff coming across to end the game. So shout outs to his teammates though, they did get him ahead very well. You see Ujir coming across with a level 2 gank, instead of just trying to power clear. They got the Sever Flash in the early invade and they punished it very well. And on top of that, Nautilus looked for so many hooks in lane, landed crazy ones that Sivir just was not able to spell shield,
Mm-hmm.
and Samira got so far ahead and snowballed perfectly.
She was like just able to roll with it. She rolled with the punches. They gave inches. Like I said yesterday, they were given inches and they took miles. Sheep just took everything he was given and made it into a snowman. He took a little snowball, a little thing like that, and made it into a gigantic snowman by the end of the game. Speaking about his KDA 19-0-3, had a perfect game, and that's more than a snowball. That's an avalanche coming your way.
Yeah, not only this game, but the whole series together on the Jinx, on the Samira. Those are champions where if you're bad, you're going to be very useless. But if you do well, then you are going to snowball and you're going to pop off. And that is exactly what Awesome Sheep did in both games. He was a better ADC this series, and that helped his team get the win.
Sheep was just outputting DPS numbers like a madman in this game. He was just there whenever his team needed him. He was there in the mid lane. He made such a flashy play there, just diving into the entire backline between two towers and just able to eliminate them all with the help of his jungler, mind you. But still, hey, that's what a team game is for, right? You have a jungler to help you out. This isn't solo queue. This is competitive. And
Yeah,
he,
totally.
and Samira is definitely still viable as a champion, especially with these buffs that did come through. And yes, she is very, very can be very weak if played poorly. But you saw right here, right now, how a strong player can play that champion. You need to be
Yeah,
the right kind of player.
and the jungler played well both games. He plays exactly like the style that I like to play too. Your jungler, you're not going to be a carry late game all the time, but you got to make sure to get your team ahead, and that is what exactly he did. He did mid ganks in the first game. He ganked bot in the second game, and he got his carries ahead, and his carries were able to perform. So overall, really well played by the entire team for the
Mm-hmm.
quick 2-0 in the series.
They played as a team, and the Jace was playing weak side. He knew it. He played his role. And yeah, he did get solo killed a couple times, but I mean, I think that's just Darius being broken as a champion rather than bad play from the top laner. Darius is
Yeah.
supposed to be a juggernaut. You know how a juggernaut is classified? Champion with low mobility that has a hard time closing the gap on ranged champions. But I think Darius has just a few too many tools in his belt.
Yeah, Stridebreaker takes the word low away from low ability,
Hmm.
so it
And
was really
Ghost
rough for
helps
Chase.
close in the gap too, because you can run at the speed of sound. So,
Yep, and he did perform well in the
mhm,
first game. Mordekaiser got into the Malphite, and he kept up that by all the trades that he took in lane. He didn't really get a lot of ganks, but he played his weak side very well, while his jungler was able to impact other sides of the
exactly.
map. So he did very well there. And yeah, I guess just speaking of concluding thoughts, Exodus, definitely some stuff to still work on here to try and get some better comps that is easier for them to execute. We talked about the problems they had in the first game and the second game too, with not having enough damage. Just made it hard for them to execute, and the Sheeper just took really good advantage of that, got their leads in the game, and executed perfectly with getting good objectives and ending out with the quick 2-0 in the series.
Hmm. And one thing that we also were not able to see from Exodus was executing on the drafts that they picked up. I think if they are going to try and draft comps like that where they want to go for the 5v5, they need to play more as a team with more cohesiveness. I think they've mostly played for themselves, and it was relatively selfish from like from a lot of the players, and just not respecting what can come out of the other team. But it's just something to think about. Maybe just call out cooldowns a little bit more, talk more, or just have a single shot caller telling you where to put things. And I think it was just a lot of cross decision making happening, a lot of teammates speaking in comms, talking over each other. Maybe it's just it didn't seem as cohesive as it could have been. So I think working on that as a team, or just finding one person to lead you throughout the game, even if they make wrong decisions, that doesn't matter as long as you have the intention behind them. And I always say it's better to have good intentions behind a bad decision than have bad intentions behind a decision that shouldn't have worked but did.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, stuff to improve on for Exodus. Really well played by the Sheepherd. I'd love to see them go into the playoffs. They're looking really strong right now, and I hope they keep building on their momentum here.
Week number 8 here is concluded, so they played very, very well in this series. We'll see you guys tomorrow in the LTS Premade. So this is a little bit of a very, very interesting matches coming up tomorrow. We have the big leagues coming up on Valorant this weekend. We have the LAS and LRS Premades taking place there, and we also have Let's Talk Legends coming up as well. So hopefully we will see you guys there, and have a good night, everyone. Hopefully you do enjoy the music that is going to be playing. It's from one of our buddies, so take care, everyone. We'll see you in just a bit, or in a day, really. My bad. Take care.